Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we'll make a custom house number sign using steel. So what you see here is a house number sign using roughly 1/16 mild steel. Of course, I painted both sides just for fun. And it was plasma cut, so it's with the machine you see behind me here. I'm doing some renovations in the shop, so that's why it's a little bit messy here. I needed an extra table, and plasma is a wonderful table for holding lots of stuff. So in this case here, you can see the number's 34, and it'll just be hung on the wall as it is. In this case here, I didn't make any holes, and the reason for that is because you could easily put screws over here if you need to affix it to the wall. So you have a lot of options when you have something like this here with lots of holes, and that's actually the same process I use for these ones back here too, that I'm hanging on the wall. I don't generally make extra holes on it. There's just enough holes in the sign itself that it's easy to find a hole to fix it to the wall or anything else like that. In this case here, it's plasma cut. And plasma cutting is a very efficient way to cut metal. It's just wonderful to watch it work. And the resolution we get is just fantastic on it. So I could have made this with a water jet or an industrial laser cutter, and it would have been exactly the same sign in this case here. Where those technologies exceed what the plasma is very, very fine details. That's something you can't really do with this, but again, it's for 95% of the jobs we do, we definitely go with the plasma cutter, just because it's such an efficient tool to process metal. So what are the advantage of mild steel over stainless steel for this specific job? In this case here, the customer wants it painted. So right away, well, what's the point of spending the extra money on the stainless steel if you're gonna paint it? So mild steel is perfect for that. The only downside to mild steel is that it tends to corrode relatively fast outdoors. So what you wanna do in that case there is just paint it. When you paint it with enamel paint or a powder coating or whatever kind of paint you wanna use, you create a barrier between the metal and the environment, and therefore corrosion doesn't happen. Now, I have a house number sign that I made for my own house, the number 55, and in that case there, I think it's been 2 or 3 years, and now you're starting to see a little bit of rust just on the edges where the paint didn't actually go thick enough. And it's not a big deal. I can just take it off, paint it again, and put it back up. Like, it's not steel is very, very versatile. If we made, let's say, a house number sign out of wood, well, it's a little bit more complicated depending on the wood species we have. Generally what you do is you can resand the surface and reseal it, and you have a relatively new sign. So you have a lot of different options when it comes to signage material. What you don't want to use is lamecoids or plastics. They tend to degrade the most, and there's nothing you can really do to fix them after they start to fade or peel or crack or that kind of stuff. So that's where I really like steel. Doesn't matter what kind of steel we use or what thickness or the gauge, I guess. They all last incredibly forever. And they look really, really nice, and you put them on a wall and you leave them there. They're fine no matter what season or environment they go into. So how do you go about getting a custom house number sign made by CNCKing.com? First, you gotta decide on what the number is and the sizing. Second, you gotta decide what material. We can make them out of wood, we can make them out of stainless steel, mild steel painted to any color. Like, there's never any options. The biggest sign we made, I think, was like 7 or 8 feet wide on a piece of live edge wood, and it was on cherry, I believe, and that was a couple years ago. And that's something just put on the lawn of their house, and it looked amazing. So there you have a lot of different options when it comes to making custom house number signs, however you wish. And we can also make them multi-layered. So let's say you wanted this sign here, and you wanted this, let's say, black with a white background. Well, then we would probably cut 2 of them for you. So you'd have, the white steel, and the back would be black. And then you just fix both of them using screws on your wall. So there's a lot of options that are beyond just a piece of metal. So if you want a custom house number sign, contact me at CNCKing.com. We'll cut it for you and ship it right to your door.